So I finally made it to 1,000 subscribers. And I say we because I see this channel as existing outside of just some guy sitting on the floor in front of his bookshelf talking about a bunch of dead composers. For a year now, the requests that I have gotten have fueled the direction of the channel, and the Classical Nerd would not exist in its current form without all of the really interested people out there who have liked and commented and shared and subscribed and requested videos. You are what makes this channel possible, and you are a partial owner of its direction. And for that, you have my sincere thanks. I'm coming in today with this video because I wanted to not only talk a little bit about the growth of the channel, specifically within 2017, but also ask a few questions about subjects that I've been wrestling with myself regarding the nature of the channel and how it's going to go from here. The sort of problems that I'm facing on my end, and I wanted to kind of put them out there and see what y'all thought. Statistically, it's been a bit of a wild ride in 2017. I've published 67 videos, 68 this coming Thursday, and I started the year with around 200 subscribers, which was about half a subscriber a day in the first year of the channel. And that rate has increased about 500% to the point where I'm now getting about 100 subscribers a month. And that, it really doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal when you're dealing with channels who have hundreds of thousands or millions or, many millions, tens of millions of subscribers. It seems like it's a waste of time to talk about, just getting 100 a month. But for someone who's not trying to create viral videos and who's really just sort of trying to be a music educator for a very interested and particular audience, then I think this is a real success, because when you go into these things, you never know if there's actually going to be an interested audience, and if there is, if the interested audience is actually going to find your work at all appealing. A few more statistics of interest include that I have about 55,000 total combined views, and half of the viewership is from the United States, while the other half is pretty evenly spread around the rest of the civilized world. Viewership is generally around 75% male, and last time I checked it was about 73-27, which is actually a pretty good percentage. It's been anywhere between there and 80-20 for most of the channel's existence, my Female Composers Month notwithstanding. So now I come to you with the questions. The first is, what's next? Believe me, I'm more than happy to just continue making great composers videos, but 90% of the requests currently in the queue are for biographical videos of a great composer or occasionally a great performer. When I began the channel, although talking about composers and performers in their specific historical context and providing interesting biographical information on them in an online video format was an integral part of what I did and what I plan to do for the duration of the channel, it's not something I wanted to be typecast as, and I'm afraid that's pretty much starting. This is especially true for me from a statistical perspective because all of my most popular videos are non-biographical, and thus they all come from an era when I really did not know what I was doing, production quality-wise. The second and related problem is dealing with requests. I've averaged pretty much 3 requests for every 2 videos that I've published since I really began getting these requests in earnest this time last year. I love fulfilling requests because it gives me an insight into what the classical music community on YouTube wants to hear about, but at the same time, I just don't want to stick to the same really rote subject matter of biography. I don't mind doing it and continuing to do it, just let's mix it up a little bit. But more pressingly, even regardless of subject matter, the thing just keeps on growing. As of this recording, the request queue stretches into next July. Eventually, I'm going to get to the point where I have requests for a year out, and that is just unsustainable. I'm not sure how I'm ever going to get to all of them. There are simply too many interesting subjects to discuss, and if the rate continues, I'm never going to be able to really do any of my own projects. But there's no good solution. The first is to put an arbitrary moratorium on requests, which is something I do not want to do. Another solution would be to put up some kind of Patreon page and require that those who request videos also give me money, which I don't feel is right from a moral perspective. I think it's kind of classist, and it's just, I don't feel good about that. The last option is just up the rate of production. But I feel like if I up the rate of production, this is just going to up the rate of requests. And besides, I'm a full-time student who really can only commit to publishing one video a week, especially when the subject matter is very complex and requires a lot of thorough research. The production quality would go down. I wouldn't be able to do the kinds of research that I like to do and make sure that all the information is as accurate as I can make it. And I'd also probably slip in my actual classwork and my actual compositions, which at this point in my career is very important. If you're wondering, the March Female Composers series was only possible because I pretty much dedicated all of my winter break to it. So yeah, that's a little look into my predicament, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about what you think I could do in order to combat this, or in order to change the channel in ways that you want to see. I'd really be interested in hearing all sorts of opinions on this, because I'm sort of at an impasse. And, 1,000 subscribers is a milestone, but it's not something I'm going to luxuriate in. I'm really focused on the next 1,000 and the 1,000 after that, and making sure that I can continue to do this channel on top of everything else that I have already committed to in my personal life. Classical Nerd is an ongoing project, and it's one that I continue to plan on running for as long as there are interesting subjects to discuss, which could be several decades.